everyone, it's Karen here and I'm back again. I want to create a new video and I was trying to think what kind of hacks or art hacks I could do again. Last time I did 10 art hacks with credit cards, and this is one of the last ones where it was using it as a substrate. And you see here, this is just a regular credit card, and I just created a piece of artwork on it. So I had some of my subscribers give me some ideas so I could make a second video with more credit card hacks. It was just really cool to just use simple things from our house that we have left over, or somebody gives you a gift card and you have nothing to do with it. You could just create art on it, or you could just use it for art. So there's a lot of more hacks that I thought about, and some that were suggested. So I wanted to create 10 more art hacks using credit cards. So here you see I have an old American Express, Starbucks, iTunes, and basically I'm just going to just show you some other fun art hacks that I thought about. So let's get started. For the first one, the idea is that we could create little brushes. I don't know if you've seen the Faber-Castell has like cards like this that have like how do you call this, texture on different sides. So you could create your own texture palettes or brushes and using these. So you could use it on you see, like you could use it like this, or the best way, which I don't have any because I've given them all away, you could use shape scissors and create shapes all around. You could do a wavy line, let's say on this side, and create these really cool textures that you can use to create marks. So for example, you could use paint on your project and just make marks with it, like sharp marks or just basically anything you want. So this is a really great way of doing it, and you can create really nice texture with it. And if you have those scissors, which I really got rid of because I haven't used them in ages, so I think I donated them to my daughter's school. But if you do have them, then you could just make any shape you want at the edges of this and just create. And you could even make each edge to be a different one and have really nice marks with it. So let me see, I'm gonna get some paint so I could show you what I mean. So of course you could create marks on a gel plate. That's a really fun way to do. I showed how you could just use the edges of this last time to do it, and I'm gonna link the previous video below so you can see what I mean. And also I will list any products that I used today. This is paint from the dollar store, but I don't think I'll be using any expensive products today. It's just to show you the ideas. So for example, let's see, I'm going to even put a little bit on this. No, how am I going to do this? It's probably easier to do it on a gel plate, but oh, okay, and I have an idea. One second. I'm like improvising here. Some of this is improvisation. Let me just put some paint here. Okay, there we go. So I want to see how it would happen if I put paint and then I would just run this through. Oh, there you go. So yeah, so see, it creates those really cool marks. So you could do that. And let's see if I use the other side and I'll pick up, oh, maybe I should add paint onto it. So let's see, and oh yeah, so you see what I mean? Like you could just create any type of texture with it. It's just comes out really, really cool. These are just some ideas. You could just basically, I think if you use the scissors would be awesome. You could how do you call this? You could like use it on the gel plate, like I said. That's I think the best idea to do, because these are really expensive when you buy them in the store, like to make this texture brushes or texture cards. They're not cheap. Like you can just, I mean, I don't remember how much they cost, but they're not cheap. I mean, I list them below, the ones that are like actually to buy, but you don't really need to. You can just make your own using the credit card. And I think that was one of the hacks that somebody shared with me. I don't remember the name. I should have really looked before to see who he will. Maybe I'll go look now while I prepare for the next one. Okay, that art hack that was suggested by Patricia, and I'm really appreciative of that. That was a really great idea to do this and to use decorative scissors to cut them out, and works perfectly. I mean, I didn't have decorative scissors, but I did cut my own, so that's really, really fun. So that's a really great art hack for credit cards. The other one, the next art hack was suggested by my friend Cheryl, and it's more, she loves watercolors, so this was a perfect way of creating marks for like making trees or like bark on the trees. And what you need is you need a really sharp corner from the credit card. So I'm going to get this really sharp corner, and then you're going to create marks inside on your watercolor paper. So what you're doing is you're creating these deep marks, so when you're actually adding the color, it will create these beautiful designs. You could also make a whole line of it. You could create this, you know, because the watercolor paper is pretty textured, so it's really good to, you can add like really nice texture on your watercolor. So then all you do is you take the watercolor, and you can just paint, and you see it creates a really nice texture. Oops, I need a little bit more water. So that's really good. It's a great hack. I love it. And there's the other one. Maybe it's, I'm diluting the water so you can actually see the design. So it's a really, really great way of creating marks using just credit card. Anything sharp will work. But I thought this was a great little hack, and I just thought, let's include this in my video. So thanks, Cheryl, and thank Patricia. This is great. I love when people give me ideas about what to create. That's really, really good. I'm sure you know of this art hack. It's a really easy one, and I mean, many people use it, but you know, everybody has this stash of ribbon like that they don't know what to do with. So a great way to use your credit cards, just save them, and then you could just basically wrap your ribbon around the credit card and then store it in a box. So that way everything is organized. So you have like one here, and then the next one you could just basically wrap this one around, and then it becomes much easier to see what you have, and basically you don't have to you know, work really hard at finding the ribbon that you have. So this is a great craft or art hack. I really love it. So then you could just basically store them in a box and put them all together like this, and every time you're looking you can basically fan through them. There's so many cards I get all the time, so especially gift cards, so it's just easy to basically use it this way. So great hack, easy, not very like sophisticated or anything, but I just thought it was great to share that as well. The next art hack is pretty simple. It's using modeling paste, and I'm actually grabbed black modeling paste just because I really wanted you to be able to see what I'm doing. If I'm grabbing white paste, it will be really hard for you to see. So all I'm doing is I'm just putting a little bit of paste on my background, and then hold on, let me make it a little bit smoother. And then all you have to do is just grab a credit card. So you could just grab a regular one and just create the marks that we did before, or you could grab the ones that we cut. Where is that one? Oh, there it is. you could grab the ones that we cut and create like lines or wavy lines. So basically, you could just use paste, because paste is so thick that you can really create beautiful texture with it. You could do the same thing with thick gesso, or you could do the same thing with thick gel. So that would work well as well. And that's a really easy thing to do. So, I mean, just making marks on everything. So let's say you're applying paste onto something. All you have to do is just basically make like really nice marks with it. And I mean, I showed how to do it with paint, but I didn't actually think of paste. Paste would be a great idea as well. So last time I showed you how to make, I mean, marks with paint, or I mean, I showed you here as well with how to make the lines for the brush. But I just thought, you know what, paste is a great thing, especially thick paste. Like, I mean, the thicker it is, the cooler it is. Look, I'm gonna do it again just to show you when it's thick, it really makes a difference. Like, it really shows nicely through. Look how nice these grooves are. So I really like the idea of doing this like this, of doing marks on really thick paste. So that's a really fun way to do it. So last time I showed how you could cut little pieces and basically create a mosaic effect on your background and have a really nice texture that way. So basically cut like little triangles or squares, and just create the mosaic. But I thought to myself, what if I'm able to actually put them inside the paste? So for example, actually I'll go back to that black paste that I used before. You could just go ahead and embed them into the paste and actually create something like that. Or you could even cut them smaller, like literally miniature, if you have patience to do that, or sit somebody in, you know, maybe sit if you have somebody who feels like doing this, and you could actually mix them into the paste and have them like, you know, little shards of plastic inside. So that's really cool to do as well. So they actually sell a gel or a paste that has little shards of plastic in it. So what would make me from not doing my own texture paste? So all I have to do is just cut the little pieces, mix them inside, take a little, like, I don't know, bowl or something, and mix them inside with gel or with gesso or even with paste, and just mix it all up and create this really nice texture. I mean, that's a really brilliant idea that I just will save you a lot of money, because it's just like so easy and so fun to just create these really nice texture things. I don't know, that's just my idea. So for example, if you take some of this, okay, and take it and you just mix it, you know, you're gonna get these like sharp edges, and they're going to show up through. So I will show you what I mean. So I'm going to basically put them in so you can mix them in, and then when it's dry, I'll put some wax on them so you can actually see the difference. So I'll come back to this one later on when it dries. In the meantime, I'll continue on with the other ones. One of the great things about credit cards is that they're made out of plastic. So one of the things I thought is like, what would happen if I actually heat this up and let the plastic heat up and bend and melt? So I'm going to basically heat this up really, really well, and be careful with your fingers when you're doing this. I'm just going to apply a lot of heat in one corner to see what will happen to the actual card. And this is probably not safe in terms of like fumes, so maybe wear something on top. Okay, so the corner is starting to bend, and what it does is, look at this, it becomes so pliable that you could actually, like, you know, wrap something with it. You could create, I don't know, basically you could like use it to create something on something round, or you could just, oh my god, this is cool, you can actually probably roll it. So actually this would work. You could create like circular texture on this. I mean, anything works. It's just the nice thing is that it bends, so you can actually bend it all the way and use this for so many different things. You could use it to make marks. You could use it to just basically include rolls of it on your project. I mean, I don't know. Just think of ideas. The nice thing is that it the nice thing is that it actually bends, and it's actually not easy to bend it backwards. I mean, it's just really cool because it keeps that shape. So maybe if you had like a smaller piece, you could create something really nice with it. I mean, why not? That's a good way of incorporating credit cards into your art. Okay, another idea I had is to make a stencil out of it, maybe like a punchinella stencil or any type of stencil. So basically just making holes in it. Why not? So I mean, pick a credit card that is basically not too hard. Like this one, the iTunes ones are usually softer. And just go ahead and cut different sized holes if you have different size punches. I mean, this is just the same one, but you could just punch a heart out of it. I mean, anything goes. And then then you could use this as a stencil. So I'll go back to my black modeling paste here just because I have it handy. And yep, let's do this. So you can create small little stencils for ATCs. There we go. And they're actually quite thick, so the design will be thick enough, you know. So you can create texture. How cool is that? I didn't go all the way because I hate like punching things. The other thing that if you actually punched other shapes, you could create any stencil you want, which is really, really great. So I love that. That's a really great hack. I really like that. So there you go. The next one is using the same one that I just punched, and what if I actually punched it all around and incorporated that as a background? So you can actually create your own texture background. So if I went ahead and let's say I didn't do the stencil here, I had this. If you actually add black onto this, and if you paint this, so for example, I'm going to show you what I mean. I mean, this is not gesso, but it has gesso in it. So if I went and painted this, okay, and let it stay in glue with this in the background, and then I'm going to do the same thing. I want to show you how cool it looks. So you could use the actual card that you punched with different shapes. You could use it as a really nice background texture, and it will be raised and it'll be 3D, and there's just so many ideas I am thinking in my head about what I could do with this. So that's really cool too. So I'm just painting it all the way so you can see what I mean, and I'm going to add some wax on this one as well so you can see. Okay, so there is my other art hack. There was like kind of 2-in-1, but it was really great because it's a really good one as well. So like I said before, that we can hole punch things as well. Another idea is to actually create embellishments, and this is a great way of doing that. So there's different ways of creating embellishments. One of them is basically if you have something like a Christmas tree, you could cut this out and use it in your project as for a card or something like that. Another way is to punch it, like I said, like you could use a shape punch to create, let's say, a bird or a heart or whatever else. Or you can definitely freestyle, and I like to freestyle, so I could make, like, for example, a heart. And if you're not good at freestyling, which I am not, you could, hold on. You could grab a Sharpie marker and just basically trace something. I don't know. I mean, I'm better at drawing freestyle, but so you could do that and cut around it, or you could actually trace something and cut around it and create that shape, that embellishment that you want to include into your work. So that's a really good hack to do, and this one actually was also suggested by Patricia, so thank you very much for that. I think it's a great idea to just use a Sharpie to draw your own shapes. And I mean, the hole punching is another idea, or cutting freestyle, whatever you want. I mean, basically your imagination has no limits, basically. So do what you want with the credit cards. It's so much fun. The last idea is basically using it as a knife. I mean, I've used it as a palette knife, and that's easy to do, to spread things. But I also thought, well, what if I used it like to cut things? Something like clay, or like the gelato. You know how sometimes we want to make a mixture with gelato and we want to take a little piece out of it from the top. This is a great way of scraping that little bit of it, you see, and then taking that onto the side here and mixing it with water and creating your own paint. So this is a great thing about gelatos, that you can create your own basically paint with it, like a watercolor. So you take a little piece of it, and if you don't want to dirty any of your other basically your other tools, then the credit card, you know, even if you dirty it, you can just clean it up or throw it out if you don't want to. So that's a good way. And you could cut basically anything soft, anything that is really, really soft. You could use the edge of the credit card to cut it. So for example, something like clay, this is just regular clay, just have it double bagged, and you could use it instead of a knife. So let's say you don't want to dirty your palette knives with clay, or you don't want to dirty anything else. Here, I'm going to take a little piece of this. So you could just basically, if you know what I mean, cut it. You could have your kids do this. You see, it just cuts into pieces easily. And you could save these for your kids. They're like, if for example they want to use clay, you can have them do a really cool way and actually cut with this. You know, it's another tool that they can cut with. So I mean, these are just ideas. This is my 10th idea, so I think I was going to do just 10, and I'm going to get back now to the other two with the black. They're just still drying, so while I pack up, I will show you what I mean and how the texture came out with them. You see what I mean? I took these two and I'm just adding some color to it, and it creates this beautiful texture in the background. So imagine this if you had it all punched up and just have this texture where it's kind of like a peekaboo effect. So you could have a different color underneath. So it's really fun to just basically create these, and I don't know, it's just fun. I'm just using this wax from Prima Finnabair. I'm going to try a different color for this one. This is the metallic wax, and let's see. This is the rose gold one. The other one was the royal robes. It was an opal magic. Okay, and this is the one that I put that texture underneath. Look how cool that is. Oh my God, I actually love it. Okay, so you see the texture that it created? It almost looks like some wrinkled thing. Oh, I don't know. I really love it. It's a great idea to use like things from your house and to cut up pieces and basically put them inside your artwork. How cool is that? Actually, I might use this technique. I really, really like it. So yay. Thanks. And actually, thanks. Am I thanking myself or no? I'm thanking all of you for your ideas, and I'm just really impressed. So here I'm going to bring them all back. Oh, at least all the ones that I have on my desk. All the marks that I did. I'm just so thankful for everybody just giving me ideas on what to do. What else did I do? I did the ribbon, which I've taken apart because I needed the cards for that. Yeah, basically just ideas. Basically, just try anything you want. If you have more ideas, feel free to share them or make your own video about them. Just so many ways to actually use things that are from your house and that are leftovers and that you could just put into anything. And don't mind my dirty fingers. I'm working on many projects at once while things dry, so I've been doing other things in between. But thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed my video, 10 ways to use credit cards, part 2. These are great art hacks, and thanks for staying till the end. I really appreciate it. Have an amazing day, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you can, if you want. I mean, I don't want to pressure you to do anything, but I would love for you to subscribe. And also, if you want to get notifications about my videos, then you can just press on the little bell underneath the video, and that will notify you every time I have a video. Also, if you want to hit the like button or visit my website, Instagram, I don't know, anything you want. I'd love to hear from you. I love to share with you. Thanks so much. Bye.